On the table, it's Sonic the Hedgehog 30th anniversary figures from JAKKS Pacific. Hey everyone, this is Dan, and you are watching SquirrelStampede, and look at there on the table, it's Amy Rose, finally found from JAKKS Pacific figures, along with a few other Fluorescent Sonic surprises, and also something very mighty. Lots of figures to go through, so let's open these up and see who is the fastest.
Alright, Sonic, once again, I propose a race of epic speed. Whoever reaches the end of these 3 difficult obstacles will win all of the Chaos Emeralds. On your mark, get set, go! Ha-ha! Woohoo! Nothing can stop Landry on the bumper. You'll have difficulty with this one, Sonic. Ha-ha! Now you've hurt yourself, Sonic. You've hurt yourself. You'll never win. Hey, what are you doing? Stop that! Wait, no! Sonic, no, that's not fair! Oh no, my tail's stuck! Oh, it's stuck! Oh, Sonic, no! Oh, that's not fair! You can't use that! Oh! SquirrelStampede! Please fight! Squirrelment!
And a squirrel-eyed.
Lots of great Sonic the Hedgehog 30th anniversary figures to go for, but I think we'll start right off with Amy, the popular favorite here. This is the first time JAKKS Pacific has tackled Amy finally. Finally, we get to see an Amy figure. The only one drawback to JAKKS Pacific is the very slow rollout of secondary Sonic the Hedgehog characters. They're great at reproducing Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, but they forget about the vast library of Sonic characters. Amy here with 11 points of articulation, a pink hedgehog who wields a huge hammer called the Piko Piko Hammer. Good to see Amy fully articulated here, not in bendy form. So let's open up this 30th anniversary figure and see how she runs. And Amy out of the box. Now the Amy figure is probably a little short packed. She's harder to find on shelf. I usually always find my Sonic the Hedgehog figures at Target. I think that's pretty much the only place to find them. Well, maybe Amazon too. I actually found this Amy off of eBay though because she was so hard to find. And I picked her up about a month ago and she was running pretty high at about $35. But I checked today and she's actually down closer to $25. So now's a good chance to pick up Amy, as it's really hard to find her on store shelves. The question being, sometimes JAKKS Pacific reruns characters with different accessories, so we may see her again. So if you don't catch Amy on this release, this 30th anniversary release, there's a possibility we will see her again, but maybe with a different accessory or a different paint color. So keep that in mind if you can't find her. But on the other hand, the way JAKKS is, this could be the last time we see her for years, so you never know. I recommend picking one up if you really want one, especially if you see it on store shelf. What a figure though, looking fantastic. They've really captured Amy. JAKKS does such a great job with their Super Mario and their Sonic figures. I love the heavy boots she's wearing. It makes her stand nice and easily. I'm not worried at all about her falling down. Shall we count up her 11 points of articulation? So let's see, head rotation, there's 1, shoulders 2, wrists 3, 4, 5, we'll double that, and then hips 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we've got 11 in there. It just depends. Sometimes people double count joints that bend and twist. But there's certainly enough articulation in her to give her some great positioning. Although once you start having her run, she may fall down. But great figure, great face sculpt, great paint all around, and the Piko Piko Hammer, an excellent accessory.
Ow! You stay away from my Sonic! Bah! I'll get that hammer, Amy!
So looking good, Amy, what a figure. I really hope this sets off JAKKS in creating more of these secondary characters. There's a library still of fantastic friends for Sonic to race with. So who to open up next? Well, let's go with Sonic. That way Amy will have someone to look over. And this Sonic the Hedgehog figure, part of the 30th anniversary line as well. These are, oh, what would you call these? The Neon Series? The Fluorescent Series? Sonic is in a much more lighter blue. His shoes are fluorescent pink, and his arms and body have a little bit of a yellow to it. A stranger yellow, I should say. And also paired in the collection, there's a Knuckles of Fluorescence and a very glowy green Tails. See what I mean about JAKKS reusing characters a lot? They're so vibrant and colorful though, I couldn't pass them up. And also, with more Chaos Emeralds, I believe I've only collected kind of a watermelon Chaos Emerald and a purple one. Whoa, sorry Amy.
I'll remember that.
So it will be nice to collect a few more Chaos Emeralds. Those are my favorite accessories with these figure packs. Over on the back of the box, Sonic, 11 points of articulation as well. The world's fastest blue hedgehog. Maybe even a little more faster in this fluorescent hue. All right, opening up. Ah! We've run into this a number of times, losing Sonic's feet, shoes, in taking him out of package. Luckily, it's just a ball joint on those shoes, so it should be repairable pretty easily. Let's see here. Should be just a quick little snap or a squish, and Sonic is fixed back to normal. So there is modern Sonic in fluorescent blue, glowy blue with super bright pink fluorescent shoeage. Looking pretty good as always, and with the 11 points of articulation in there too. There's head, shoulders, wrists, hips, knees, and those great ball-jointed feet. I'm trying to figure out if he is an exact repaint. This modern Sonic I found from the collection I've been collecting on is pretty close, but we've got the fists and open arms switched. The face sculpt's, a little different, as this Sonic has a smirk. There's definitely some uniqueness to this Sonic figure. I haven't picked up every JAKKS Sonic figure. I know they like to repackage them with different accessories, so maybe out there we've seen it. There's also been the bendy Sonics, and this Sonic has the smirk, but on the other side of his face. Really though, it's all about the blue shine, the blue glow to this one. The question also being, how will he react to a black light? So I have a tiny little blacklight flashlight found from Amazon. I think someone had sent this over at one point. Let's see if we can get any kind of glow out of him. We'll take our lights down low and, well, what do you know? The white is certainly reflective. Oh, look at those shoes though. Those are going to be super fluorescent to a blacklight. The blue, so-so. I suppose maybe placing a few other regular Sonics next to him, and he certainly outglows them, especially classic Sonic here. I just see his eyes. All the white paint on these stand out, because white typically stands out in blacklight. But the blue fluorescent Sonic, well, pretty much the same actually, but those shoes are what really stand out. We'll check back on that black light in a minute once we open a couple more. Oh, and there's the new yellow Chaos Emerald to go along with the purple and the watermelon, I like to call it. On the hunt for a few more of those still. How about before we get to the other fluorescent characters, let's look at Mighty! No way, it's Mighty! It's Mighty the Armadillo. Also a challenge to find, like Amy. Maybe slightly easier, as I think this is the second time Mighty has been produced. I want to say there was a 2020 Mighty and then there was a 2021 Mighty. This one packaged up with a spare Sonic monitor. So this Mighty I found at Target. Again, really tricky as they're often short packed or they often just don't place many on peg. I guess you could always ask someone if there's any in the back. For a while there, Mighty was running pretty high, also on eBay around 30 or 40, but just today checking, he's back down to 20, maybe even $15. So he's a little easier to find. Mighty is a powerful armadillo and a great friend to Knuckles and Ray. Mighty first appearing in one of the Sega Sonic games, I believe. You don't see him very often. I would hope that since we are seeing Mighty now, we would see Ray the flying squirrel too. We would love to see Ray here at SquirrelStampede. But now we have Mighty, very similar in look to Sonic in a way. This Mighty figure probably more in line with the classic Sonic look. Let's open up, see how he runs around. Ah, Mighty's arm! So similar to Sonic's feet, Mighty has the ball joint on his arm here. Losing his hand, we'll just pop that back in. It's nice to know that they're just simple ball joints on the hands and the feet, so they're easily repairable. Okay, well there's Mighty out of pack. His legs are a little loose, so he may fall over 50 times. We'll see. What a clever looking little armadillo there. I like how he's got his brow going over his body, the armadillo-like shell of the body going around there with the ears poking up, a little tail similar to Sonic, very close to Sonic in a way. And that makes sense. As the Sega Sonic series, you would want to have the three main characters be pretty close in scale and size to do all the same stunts on the level maps. So now we just have to look for Ray to stand the three together. I hope they make a Ray. And we should have 11 points of articulation too. Head rotation, a little bit limited with that giant headpiece there. Shoulders, and obviously the ball jointed hands, and then the hips, and knees, and ankles. So good to finally see a Mighty on the shelf. He's looking awesome. I just wish these feet were a little better behaved. They're kind of scooching around on me. And then included, we have an awesome little Sonic the Hedgehog monitor. A free Sonic Life monitor. That's a really nice accessory piece. Nice and solid plastic with a sticker of Sonic on the front. Kind of frustrating how JAKKS releases these. Sometimes you'll pick up a figure and then they'll release the new figure and then they'll release the figure again with a different accessory, and so you're sitting there going, do I buy the figure again just for this awesome accessory? Drives you nuts. So good to finally open up a Mighty. Really good figure on that one, just harder to find again. If you ever see a Mighty or an Amy, pick them up immediately. And now we have Sonic's trusted sidekick, Tails, in green. I think to get that bright fluorescent-y look, they went more with a green hue than a yellow for Tails. Looks really odd, like Tails went on a spin out, spun his tail so much he became a little sickly, and now he's a little green. Also with those very bright pink shoes. 12 points of articulation, so an extra point of articulation probably in those tails, right? Tails is an energetic fox and one of Sonic's closest friends. Also comes with a 10 ring. What would you call that? A gumball machine globe? I also like his little pink nose. That stands out really well. Let's open up Tails. There's our modern glowy Tails out of pack. Obviously greenage going onage, pink shoes, and the propeller tails. I believe this Tails is very close in style to a previous Tails with the helicopter tails. Sometimes the tails in the action figures point up, other times they're in the helicopter rotation, and you can rotate these tails a bit. These two seem very similar in style. It might just be the same figure repainted. So yeah, 11 points of articulation as well, all through the same spots: the head, the shoulders, the wrists, the hips, knees, and feet, and then the extra helicopter tail, which you can, if careful, spin around. I won't recommend doing it too many times because sometimes the JAKKS Pacific joints can become a little sticky. I've lost a few things over the years.
Hey, what's everybody talking about? Oh.
So this Tails with the 10 coin machine power up and should be also glowy. Let's open up Knuckles first before we test him out. I try not to buy multiples of characters, but boy, these Fluorescent series were really fun to look at. And so there, we've got Knuckles, also with the glowy fluorescent finish. Knuckles probably pulling this off the best out of the three, I think. Tails felt a little sickly, Sonic just something not right, but Knuckles feels like just like Knuckles would, but with a little bit of a glow to him. Also with 11 points of articulation, Knuckles is a red echidna and last of his tribe. Also comes with a continuation gate. I think that's the first time I've picked up that accessory. I believe this accessory has appeared before. Let's open up Knuckles. As always, Knuckles has some impressive knuckles. These fists are huge and dangerous, spiky dangerous. Look at this guy, looking awesome. I always like Knuckles' Lego brick-like shoes. At least that's how they appear in toy form. They feel like little bricks coming out of his shoes. Is his tail articulated? No, the tail is not, so he is true to those 11 points of articulation. We also have our little stage gate here, if you want to continue. Oh, it's got a little spring feature. I did not expect that. I can almost hear it going. Now, surprisingly, I have not opened an articulated Knuckles of this scale before. I've opened up bendy Knuckles a couple times now, one with that Angel Island soccer jersey. Remember those? Those were a weird find. But guess what? Also today I have finally found, or have founded months ago, a basic regular Knuckles to open up with, and this blue Chaos Emerald. This Knuckles I probably picked up over a year ago now. I had found it almost just after we had looked at the classic Sonic and Super Shadow. Not sure if we did this Tails or not, but look, there's his little bumper, so I must have done those together. So now finally I can group this regular Knuckles with those. He's looking a little dusty too. Okay, opening up. How is it like it to have fresh air out of the package, old school year ago Knuckles, in the classic red? Now you can see the difference in the fluorescent colors of the new series versus the older series. I still feel like this new fluorescent Knuckles is the best tone of color. This is such a cool Knuckles figure. Glad to finally catch up with this one though. I love the purple eyes with Knuckles also, and the Lego shoes. And there he goes. Most importantly though, the reason I really opened up was for this blue, pretty blue Chaos Emerald. So now once again, there's our watermelon, there's our purple, and there's our yellow Chaos Emerald. Now I'm at that point where I have to really start looking for the other colors. I think a couple have also been released I may have missed, but they're so shiny and pretty. And if you collect them all, then I'll be Fire Dan. And I'll run around burning things, right? Is that what I get? Super Dan? Something like that. Alright, let's group these glowy guys together, see what they look like under the light. See if we can get anything. Yeah, I've got just too much light going on, so let's power down some lights. Let's go maybe half scale. And yeah, the gloves, anything white always stands out on these. Even Amy over there and Mighty will glow a little bit with the black light. And under the curtain of darkness, there they are. Not as glowy as you would think, really. Although look at Knuckles' nose. I can just see that super bright. Sonic's nose and Tails. The fluorescent pink they've got going is the most glowy. And you can see it in Knuckles' hinge and body the most. It just depends. There's Amy back there. Her Piko Piko Hammer works pretty well. But yeah, they do glow a little bit. Not as much as you would think, but there is some glowage. Maybe a stronger and more powerful black light would help too. Absolutely love how those noses of theirs just glow. That's so funny. It just stands out. From this angle, Sonic's quills are just vibrant. They are really standing out much more than Knuckles. But Knuckles from the front, his torso really glows. And there we go with the speedy continuation of the JAKKS Sonic the Hedgehog Pacific collection. These have been so much fun. I wish they would release a little faster with those secondary characters, but we'll take what we can take because they are a lot of speedy fun. If you liked today's video, please give us a squike, a squirrelive, and a squammet. Let us know your favorite Sonic the Hedgehog character. Thank you for watching. That's what I have to say about that.